Good evening, you're watching Super 6 here on India Today. I'm Akshita, Nandagopal, and this evening we're putting the focus on the language fight. It's been raging on for weeks now, but today you had also playing out subsequently a fight over the Periyar legacy, a fight over which is better, north or south. So over the next half hour here on Super 6, I'm going to be breaking down for you all that we really know about several of these parameters. Did Periyar really abuse Tamil? Is there, in fact, a clear demarcation between the north and south when it comes to education parameters? We're going to be talking about that and much more. Let's begin. The language war, Hindi imposition debate, whatever you want to call it, is dominating national politics, no longer restricted to just Tamil Nadu. It's become the biggest bone of contention in parliament, with the DMK squaring off against the BJP both inside and outside the parliament. Let's put the focus now on a claim by Dharmendra Pradhan. He said this a few days ago, claiming that NEP was initially accepted by the Stalin government and then they did a U-turn. According to Mr. Pradhan, and we'll come to this in just a bit. According to Mr. Pradhan, the government first agreed to implement the PM Schools for Rising India, the PM Shri scheme, and then later backtracked. Listen first to what he said.
आज विश्व क्या कह रहा है? इस बार 2024 को द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म ऑन ग्लोबल एजुकेशन के बारे में चर्चा हो रही है। 2023 में मल्टीलिंगुअलिज्म एंड जॉब मार्केट इन ईयू, ये चर्चा हो रही है। हम कहां फंसे हैं? क्या कोई अधिकार बात किसी के अधिकार हनने के लिए किसी को आहत करने के लिए भाषा को उपयोग करेंगे? कम से कम नरेंद्र मोदी जी की सरकार ये पाप न कभी किया है न आने वाले दिनों में करेगा।
All the schemes which are given to them.
So is that really true, that the DMK first agreed to implement PM Shri, which is part of NEP, and then refused? The DMK has claimed all of this is lies. But let's put out that letter that we were showing earlier that the BJP is referred to. They say, here's proof of the U-turn. What really does this letter show? It's a letter that was released by the centre. It's from the Tamil Nadu Chief Secretary, Shivdas Meena, from last year, March 2024. And this is what it says. The state of Tamil Nadu is keen to implement the MOU for PM Shri. It also says a state-level committee has been set up for the same, headed by the School Education Secretary, and that based on the recommendations of the committee, the PM Shri will be implemented in Tamil Nadu. This is a letter sent across by the Tamil Nadu Chief Secretary. It's something that, in fact, Dharmendra Pradhan has shared to say this is what has happened. There was a U-turn. Armed with this letter, Minister Pradhan has claimed that DMK is merely playing politics over NEP and actually wanted to implement it first. But what has DMK said about this letter? While confirming that yes, this very much exists, it isn't a figment of imagination, the Stalin government has said the letter says a committee will be constituted and based on it, they will decide on implementation. So they maintain that lies are being spread.
All the schemes which are given to Tamil Nadu are some charity, act of charity. Whereas the truth is, whatever funds which have to be allocated to us have not been allocated as yet. And moreover, whatever is being allocated according to her, I think any union government has to do it for the states. And moreover, it is from the funds, the taxes which the Tamil Nadu government pays.
So Kanimuri there speaking about what Nirmala Sitharaman had said, saying that we deserve all the funds irrespective of whether we implement the NEP. I will get you what Nirmala Sitharaman said in just a bit. Udayanidhi Stalin has also spoken about having more babies amid this debate. Not over delimitation, but to ensure also that while you have more families, so population goes up, each of the children who are born, according to Udayanidhi, should get a Tamil name. So you see the lines are blurring over the issue of delimitation and on the issue of language.
இப்ப தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்கக்கூடிய நாடாளுமன்ற எம்பிக்களுடைய தொகை 39. இந்த டீலிமிட்டேஷன் மட்டும் வந்துருச்சுன்னா 8 தொகுதி கம்மியாகி 31 தொகுதி ஆயிடும். தமிழ்நாட்டுடைய மக்கள் தொகை 7 கோடி. ஆனா இந்த குடும்ப கட்டுப்பாடு சரியா பண்ணாத, சரியான மக்கள்கிட்ட சரியா விழிப்புணர்வு ஏற்படுத்தாத மாநிலங்கள் இதனால பெனிஃபிட் அடைய போறாங்க. வட மாநிலங்கள் இருக்கக்கூடிய வட மாநிலங்கள்லாம் 100 தொகுதி வரைக்கும் இதனால பெறப்போகுது. தொகுதி கம்மியாக நமக்கான உரிமைகளை நாம பெற முடியாது. அதுக்காகத்தான் வந்திருக்கக்கூடிய மணமக்கள் கண்டிப்பாக அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும், எல்லாம் படித்தவங்களா இருப்பாங்க, நிச்சயம் அவங்களுக்கு ஒரே ஒரு வேண்டுகோள், பிறக்க போகிற குழந்தை வந்து ஆணாக இருந்தாலும் சரி பெண்ணாக இருந்தாலும் சரி ஒரே ஒரு வேண்டுகோள், அழகான ஒரு தமிழ் பெயரை வைங்க.
Anaga Keshav is joining us live from Chennai with more details on this. Anaga, with this letter coming to the fore that the BJP is put out to say there was a U-turn by the DMK, how really is the state government responding to this? Because they're not saying that this is some letter that, has been manufactured, made up, none of that. They're maintaining that, yes, this letter is true, but there's no question of a U-turn.
In fact, Akshita, many leaders from the DMK have reacted to this letter that was put out by the BJP. In fact, halfway through that letter, you can clearly see that there is a line that mentions that the Tamil Nadu government will be setting up a state-level committee that will examine the MOU, that is the NOP MOU, and subsequently, if the state-level committee gives a go-ahead, that is when the Tamil Nadu government will be implementing the NEP. That was clearly stated in that letter, which several DMK leaders also picked it up by saying that Dharmendra Pradhan is only spreading misinformation. He has conveniently forgotten that particular line where we have mentioned that we will be setting up a state-level committee, and instead only picked up the part where we have said that we will implement NEP. So this is selective, is what the DMK is saying. However, the DMK has also justified as to why they'll not really be implementing the NEP by saying that around 1.09 crore students in Tamil Nadu are studying in state government schools, whereas only 15 lakh students are studying in CBSE in Tamil Nadu, thereby implying that students in Tamil Nadu prefer the two-language policy way more than they would a three-language policy. So that's the main reason why the Tamil Nadu government says that they will not be implementing the three-language policy and the NEP in the state.
Thanks very much, Anaga, for joining us with those details. We'll see how really this entire showdown plays out, who blinks first. But as part of this fight over language, there was a comment that was made today by Trichy MP Durai Vaiko. This is while he was speaking to us here on India Today. Essentially, that the South is much better off than the North, and that Northern states are 40 years behind South states in their development. This is what Durai Vaiko said, who's the MP from Trichy. He's the son of MDMK Chief Vaiko. Let's play out for you what he said. They will decode that further.
We dominate almost all spheres, from the IT sector to medical sector, anything. We dominate. We are doing good because of the English proficiency. And how did the Tamilians know? Did we get the English proficiency? It is because of the two-language formula. We had Tamil and English. But as far as the northern states, they are far behind us. They are far 40 years behind us. There are so many lakhs of youth who go abroad for jobs. We talk about globalization. Then without English as a communication language with the world, how are we going to do better? See, our Tamil student who was learned Tamil and English, what would he take as a third language? He wouldn't take Telugu or Malayalam. The next option would be Hindi. So it's an indirect way of imposing Hindi. Like, do the students need another third language? If they want it, let them study, but don't impose that third language is a must-have.
So away from the point that Durai Vaiko made about imposition, which you're seeing a lot of politics over, the point that he made about Tamil Nadu being much better off than the northern states, is that actually true? Particularly on education, since that's the real fight all about. Let's talk figures, because numbers essentially never lie. We've dug out data for you to show whether Tamil Nadu education-wise is better than other states in the country, particularly the north. Let's talk first about the gross enrollment ratio in higher education. Southern states here are doing much better than others. For example, the enrollment ratio in Tamil Nadu is at 47%. Kerala, it's at 41%, 41.3%. Uttar Pradesh is far behind at 24%, and Bihar is at 17%. So essentially here, the southern states, when it comes to higher education, the gross enrollment ratio, which is one of the factors they look into to understand how really a state is doing on the education forefront, southern states are way ahead. Now, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, you see those numbers are doing much better. Even Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana, all of them are much better. Let's look into reading proficiency. This is based on the ASER report, the ASER report of 2024. And this is very interesting to see, because 37% of class 5 students, government school students in Tamil Nadu, can read class 2 level text. This is how they find out how proficient they are at reading. Interestingly, that number is much higher in Uttar Pradesh. with 50.5% of Class 5 government school students reading Class 2 level text. And what really the report has highlighted is that there's been a huge jump in Uttar Pradesh, which hasn't really been seen in Tamil Nadu, which is why you see the difference in numbers, 37% versus 50.5%. So in this particular report, this is the ASER report of 2024, Uttar Pradesh on reading proficiency is much better off than Tamil Nadu. On the issue of education, but also clubbing with that the issue of language. Are we seeing more and more states in the country being bilingual, particularly because in Tamil Nadu they're talking about a two-language policy of English plus Tamil, perhaps a three-language policy? Well, if you look at really the northern states, Hindi, it seems, has become more or less the only language in the north. Just about 10% of the population know more than one language. And we're talking about in Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and several other northern states. While in Tamil Nadu, 18.5% is the population that can speak more than one language. Inevitably, it will be Tamil and English. Let me just highlight that these numbers are based on the 2011 census. So it could have changed. But essentially, you get a sense that Tamil Nadu people are a lot more bilingual, which you'll sense even if you've traveled to the state, versus in the north, where there are very few numbers of people who can actually speak more than one language, more than Hindi. We've given you now all of the data on education, on reading proficiency, on gross enrollment ratio, and also, as you saw here, on language, on whether it's one language domination or whether they're bilingual. It's up to you, the viewer, to decide whose education model is better for students. So we've spoken about that entire issue of North versus South on education parameters. Let's talk about the other big flutter amid the language war over Periyar, his legacy and his stand on the Tamil language. And this has been hugely contested before as well. But now the reason everyone's talking about it is because you had Nirmala Sitharaman in Parliament yesterday with a very, very fierce speech countering the DMK and made this statement on Periyar.
Sir, for just saying your protests are uncivil, they made the education minister to withdraw their statement, his statement. When a man repeatedly says Tamil is a barbaric language, Katumirandi Bhashai, look at the hypocrisy. They keep his photo in every room. I'm sure even in the parliament office of that party, his photo is there. They garland him and they worship him and they say he is the icon of Dravidian movement. But he said Tamil is Katamarandi Brashe. So, sir, I'm saying unbelievable that this person is worshipped, but our poor Dharmendra Pradhan just said don't do uncivil protest. He is being accused. And if their love for Tamil is so much, how can they worship somebody who said Tamil is a Katamarandi Brashe?
That speech is going viral. Nirmala Sitharaman, of course, didn't name Periyar, but it was fairly obvious who she was referring to. So did Periyar, who is, by the way, one of the most monumental faces of the language and anti-Hindi movement, actually abuse Tamil? And in what context? Let me take you through what exactly Periyar had said. Did he actually refer to Tamil as a barbaric language? Yes, very much. He had said that Tamil is a language of barbarians, but it's important to also give some context on this. Why did he say it? Well, Periyar himself had reacted to all of the outrage over his comment, saying, yes, many people get angry when I call Tamil barbaric, but the reality is that it is a 3,000 to 4,000 year old language. That is what Periyar has said. So he says, in the context of it, says this is an old language. So it makes the language primitive. It is very much barbaric because it's so ancient, it's so old. So the reasoning that he put forth is that Periyar said Tamil is barbaric, so it's important that we reform Tamil and ensure its growth. So what reform is he talking about? Well, when Periyar was in fact leading this movement, he spoke about reforming Tamil because at that point there was actually no female gender really in the language, which is why he said there's a need to reform the language, ensure it's with keeping with times as well and ensure its growth. So that's the context of what Periyar said. But very often you see the showdown over Periyar's words saying Tamil is barbaric. Interestingly, Periyar has always been at the center of a debate in Tamil Nadu. And while Dravidian parties worship him, there are some leaders like NTK chief Seeman who've been slamming Periyar, his ideologies. And interestingly, the BJP, who mind you aren't allies with the NTK, was seen praising him amid all of this talk of Periyar. Here's that sequence when Tamil Nadu BJP chief Annamalai met with Seeman. So it'll be interesting to see how really this moves forward in the days to come. Clearly, we haven't seen the end of this language war. And so many reactions that have come in the last many hours on this issue, with political parties making their stand clear. Here are some of them.
English connects us to the world of commerce and science, and Tamil preserves our culture, and that serves as well. And to thrust a third language upon us will be completely unacceptable, and the union government must be flexible in implementing its policies by taking into account the sensitivities and nuances of the various states of India.
The other side, our finance minister is lashing out and saying it's a language which not even helps to get arms for the beggars. What is their problem? Tamil is an ancient language which has been proved time and again. Even now, our leader, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, has proved that Iron Age language is Tamil. We have also proved it, and we have also released it. It's not that we need to prove it's all existing, but still it has been proved, and time and again these people lashing out on the Tamil language and Tamil Nadu is a serious political move by the union government.
मैं उल्टा सवाल पूछता हूँ, तमिलनाडु इंग्लिश में पढ़े इतना अच्छा कर रहे, क्यों 4-5 नोबेल नहीं क्यों मिला तमिलनाडु से किसी को? क्योंकि क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग जब आप जाएंगे आपको अपनी मातृभाषा में ही करना है। इंग्लिश से भी बेहतर तमिल है। अगर तमिल में वो पढ़ पाए तो क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग स्टूडेंट्स के अंदर क्रिएट होगा। हाँ, आप अच्छे जॉब मिल सकता है। यूनिक कुछ चीज आप अपनी मातृभाषा के अलावा नहीं कर सकते।
उनको तो खुश होना चाहिए, तमिल संगम हो रहा है बनारस के गंगा तट पर। तमिल भाषा, तेलुगु भाषा, कन्नड़ भाषा उत्तर भारतीय राज्यों के कई विश्वविद्यालयों में पढ़ाई जाने लगी है। यानी भाषा का संकीर्णता जो एक क्षेत्र में थी पूरे भारत में फैल रही है, उसका स्वागत करना चाहिए। अब ये भाषाओं का स्वागत करने के बजाय ये भाषाई उन्माद फैला रहे हैं।
सदन में इस तरीके की बातें सामने आकर एक पक्ष दूसरे पक्ष पर प्रहार करे, दूसरा पक्ष पहले पक्ष पर प्रहार करे, तो इससे ये लगता है कि पूरे विषय में गंभीरता की कमी है। देश में कई सारी भाषाएं हैं, भिन्न भिन्न भाषाएं हैं, वहाँ के रहने की अलग अलग तहजीब है। अगर उससे संबंधित उनके कोई प्रश्न है, उनके कोई सवाल है, केंद्र सरकार को एड्रेस करना चाहिए। और मेरा यह भी मानना है कि इस मुद्दे पर, एजुकेशन के मुद्दे पर राज्य सरकारों को भी पहल करके फॉरवर्ड आके जल्दी से जल्दी इसको क्लोज करना चाहिए।
So we'll continue tracking all of the reactions that come in on the language fight. You've not seen the end of it because clearly it's resonating through this parliament session as well. It's a 500 crore palace based in Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. In Rishikonda, a hill was essentially carved out for this palace to be built for Jagan Mohan Reddy to serve as a guest house, a residence cum office, whatever you want to call it. This was a massive property that Jagan Mohan Reddy had built using the taxpayers' money. This was also at the heart of a massive political debate in Andhra Pradesh. And for the first time, we're going to show you exactly what this sprawling, massive mansion actually looks like. It even, imagine this, has its own power substation. And that's the level of opulence, really, that went into building this palace for Jagan Mohan Reddy. Let's show you what really it looked like inside and the kind of facilities in this unbelievable palace, which now will be converted into a museum.
What you can see behind me is the Rishikonda Palace, and the question that remains to be answered is what happens to the Rishikonda Palace after its construction for almost over 3 years back. Sprawled across 9.8 acres and the construction alone worth over rupees 500 crores, the TDP-led NDA government, after it had come to power in the recent victory in 2024, the question remains as to what happens to this palatial structure that had been built atop Rishikonda Hills here in Visakhapatnam by the Bay of Bengal and the sea. What the more important question that raises is that each of these buildings that have been standing remain idle, but the interiors and the exteriors likewise have been completely remodeled, refurbished and intricately designed to the likes of the YSRCP chief and former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Reddy and his family, as this was, TDP alleges, supposed to be the office cum residence of Jagan Reddy had he shifted to Vizag post his victory in 2024. The TDP-led NDA government now has a mammoth task ahead as to see what happens to this palatial structure. Is it going to be just remaining idle, or is the public's funds, be it over rupees 500 crores that had been spent on this building, what goes of that money?
Right from the look that you can have, this entire segment that you can see is completely lavish as well, with Italian marble tiling, 10 acres of land that had been set for this Rishikonda Palace, which included imported granite, 200 chandeliers costing rupees 15 lakhs each, cozy interiors designed at a cost of rupees 33 crores, imported furniture, spacious washrooms with commodes each costing rupees 15 lakhs, landscaping with exotic imported plants, an advanced sound system, a homogeneous home theatre screen among several of the features. The design, which has been spread across these 4 major blocks, see lavish chandeliers, conference rooms and several amenities that have been set up right from the corner of the CMO office. The other end is the 300-seater conference hall for MLA gathering meetings, to a 55-seater mini conference hall for discussion with officials, to a 32-seater hall for discussion with the cabinet.
What you can see here is nothing but what leads to the icing on the cake, the iconic picture of the bathtub from the Rishikonda Palace. In fact, this entire bathroom, as you can see, each of these bathrooms have commodes which are worth over rupees 5 lakhs each, and all the flooring with imported granite, each of the chandeliers in across all of the 6 to 7 blocks out here at the Rishikonda, and this is the bathtub that holds the controversy as well, worth over 50 lakhs, and all of them that you can see behind me, these are not just wallpapers but individual tiles that have been set in place, all of them that have been imported for the likes and the taste of the YSRCP chief Jagan Reddy, is what the TDP says. In fact, just like this bathroom where we are at, the master suite where we are at, there are over 4 to 5 blocks each, be it from the Vijayanagara block and whatnot. Each of these have several 2 to 3 floors where each of the rooms have been tastefully made. There's a study that has been kept in place apart from a balcony and a terrace viewing, and each of the floors have 2 master bedrooms each, all that have been tastefully designed for the likes of the YSRCP chief. With video journalist Prasad, Apurva Jayachandran, India Today.
Moving on, let's talk about the latest in the gold smuggling racket busted in Karnataka. Every single day we've been getting you the latest updates on the investigation. Now the spotlight is on this picture. It's the wedding picture of Rania Rao from a few months ago. She got married in Bengaluru. And the VIPs in attendance, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, Karnataka Home Minister G. Parameshwara, all seen standing alongside Rania, adorned in gold for her wedding. Her DGP stepfather is also there for the wedding. This picture has created political ripples, with the BJP saying here's proof that the Congress shielded Rania Rao right up until now. The Congress, meanwhile, is saying that it was under ex-Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai's watch that in 2023, land was allotted to Rania's firm in a matter of months. Away from the politics, as far as the investigation goes, right now the CBI is looking into the possibility that this is an international smuggling syndicate.
Over a week since Rania Rao's smuggling ring was busted, several questions remain unanswered. In the custody of the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, the Kannada starlet has sought bail, claiming her arrest is unjust and arrest norms were violated. India Today has accessed details on how Rania's smuggling racket was busted. First, actor, who is the stepdaughter of DGP rank officer Ramachandra Rao, was intercepted at the airport and questioned at the Green Corridor. But Rania claimed she had no gold or contraband on her to declare, a claim that was debunked at the metal detector door test. A personal check revealed concealed gold on her waist, calves, shoes and pockets. The recovered gold is worth over 12 crore rupees and weighed over 14 kilograms. A raid at her residence later led to the seizure of cash and jewellery. A wedding picture has added to the buzz around the racket. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, Home Minister G. Parmeshwara were seen smiling next to Rania, her husband and her stepfather DGP at her wedding. The Congress and the BJP are locked in a blame game, each accusing the other of links to the smuggler starlet.
100% believed this is a big scandal. I think this have to inquire by the CBI, central agency. They will tell who is the culprit.
Under whose guidance is the CBI running? Amit Shah ji is, na? Can't they investigate? Can't they tell the two ministers that are involved?
Rania's architect husband is also under the CBI radar now for taking frequent trips to Dubai. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's bring in Sagai Raj for the latest updates. He's joining us live from Bengaluru. Sagai, good evening. We know, of course, that Rania's bail petition came up in the courts today. What really played out there? Because we understand, once again, Rania played the victim card.
Absolutely. The counsel of Rania has argued, saying that there was no protocol followed, there is no procedure which has been followed according to the law. And even the rule book of Custom Department says that you have to follow certain procedure when you are trying to detain and accuse and inquire, but those rules were not followed. Whereas the special public prosecutor went on to say that if you are landing in an airport, if you are visiting from Dubai, you have to voluntarily produce whatever you are getting and the invoice. And whenever there is some kind of suspicious on anybody, the DRA or the officials over there, they will inquire. But in this particular case, there was a protocol officer who tried to escort her. There was no checking which was being done, no frisking which was being done. And that is the reason she was happily getting so much of gold for so many times whenever she traveled to Dubai. And now this time when the frisking happened by the DRA officers, that's when they realized that she has carried so much of gold. And the procedure was being followed according to the rule book of a DRI. So these are the arguments, arguments and counter arguments has been completed. The verdict on our bail petition will be pronounced on 14th of March.
Okay, we'll track all that and, of course, the latest on the investigation. Thanks, Sagai, for the moment for joining us. And sticking to news from Karnataka, the war over guarantees continues. Over 60 crore rupees of government funds were being used to pay salaries of Congress workers. This is what the BJP has alleged. And a huge ruckus erupted within the Karnataka Assembly over this. The BJP also hit the streets demanding a salary hike for teachers and Anganwadi workers, and says that the state government is actually using public funds for political benefits and nothing more. Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar backed the salary hike to Congress workers, saying an honorarium of 25,000 rupees is is allotted to Congress cadre who work for the poor. So he's dismissed all of these claims, saying that no public money is being used really for salaries of Congress workers, that this is actually an honorarium that's being given to Congress cadre.
ಭವಿಷ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು ದುಡಿದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ನಾವು ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ಸಮಿತಿ ಏನು ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ನಾವು MLAಗಳ ಅಧಿಕಾರನ ನಾವೇನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಲ್ಲ. MLAಗೆ ಏನು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅದು ಮುಂದುವರಿತದೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನ ಸಮಿತಿನ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಹೋಗಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗಿದೆ ಬಡವರಿಗೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾದ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅವರು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಏನು ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಇದೆ, ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ನಾವು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಾವು ಯಾರು ಬೇಡ ಅನ್ನೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅರಿವಿದೆ ಇದು ರಾಜಕೀಯದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಜನರ ಬದುಕಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಆ ಬಡವರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತಂದಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಷ್ಠಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಿಗೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವಧನ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು 25,000 30,000 ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ 1,000 ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅಷ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಿಲ್ಲ.
There is a committee. You see, 5 guarantees in Karnataka. These are the flagship program of our government, and we had promised to the people of the state that we will implement these 5 guarantees, and we are implementing that. To oversee if there is any lacuna in the implementation, whether it is reaching to the last man, there is a committee constituted. That's all. And that committee has some remuneration. That is a small thing. I don't know why BJP is making such a big fuss out of this.
BJP has nothing to oppose. Their opposition is the guarantee chairmen in the constituency should be the local MLA, who in case is also BJP MLA. We have no problem appointing a BJP MLA as the chairman. But the problem is, they first, in the principle itself, they have opposed the guarantee schemes. They have said you're giving freebies, it is a bitti bhagya in Kannada, they have said. So when you don't believe in this scheme, you yourself becoming a chairman at the constituency level, will you implement it in the letter and spirit is our question. If you had believed in the scheme, if you had supported the government, we would have definitely considered you.
So Congress now they are raising all the taxes, petrol, diesel, milk, everything. They are collecting the money from the poor. They are giving the Congress party workers. Here, who is working for the government development, for the education, Asha Karyakarta, Anganwadi Karyakarta, they are crying. They are taking 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 rupees monthly. These Congress people are taking 40,000 rupees. More than 60 crores of money they are looting. Congress people. That's why this is constitutionally illegal. Because poor money, poor taxpayers' money going to Congress party workers' pocket, this is illegal. That's why we are protesting. We are submitting the memorandum to the governor.
यूनिवर्सिटी के देने के लिए पैसा नहीं है, प्रोफेसर को सैलरी देने के लिए भी पैसा नहीं है, बोर्ड को पैसा दिए, बोर्ड को पैसा नहीं दिया है। गारंटी कमेटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूट करके कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ताओं को पैसा बांट रहा है। सरकार का पैसा है, जनता का पैसा है, अपना टैक्स है। अब बांटना है तो कांग्रेस पार्टी को पैसा बांटो। आप लूटते हैं, अपना टैक्स बांटता है, ऐसा नहीं होगा।
Welcome back. In the latest chapter of the bonhomie, the friendship between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, the US president bought a shiny brand new Tesla amid attacks on Tesla dealerships. Interestingly, and as expected, it was red, considering his Republican colors. But Trump also went ahead and expressed solidarity with Musk, declaring that violence against Tesla would be classified as domestic terrorism and warned perpetrators that they would go through hell. This comes even as in the last few days, we've been seeing Tesla stocks going down. We've also been seeing cybertrucks being set ablaze in different parts of America. In our next report, we tell you how Trump has openly come out now to stand by Musk.
Wow. This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
A shiny red Tesla Model S on the White House driveway for the President of the United States. With Tesla CEO Elon Musk and his son Little X by his side, Donald Trump announced his intent to purchase a Tesla.
Makes one car. This one I don't understand. This one I don't want, but that's okay. Without a steering wheel. It comes out next year, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to pass on that particular.
The high-profile endorsement from the US President was a significant symbolic boost for Tesla. At a time when the company is grappling with declining stock prices and negative publicity tied to Musk's political stance, Trump's endorsement provided a short-term rebound to Tesla stocks. That stock climbed nearly 4% on March 11th, closing at around $239.50, up from a steeper 15% drop the previous day, the worst single-day decline in nearly 5 years. By March 12, 2025, the stock reached $236.825, reflecting a 2.71% increase from the prior close of $230.58. Trump further labeled violence against Tesla dealerships as domestic terrorism.
I'll do it. I'm going to stop them. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. You know, I've stuck up for the NFL. I've stuck up for a lot of American companies and other companies, but American companies.
Musk, who got in on the passenger seat, joked about giving the Secret Service a heart attack as they talked about how to start a vehicle. Trump, however, did not test drive the car since he's not permitted to drive.
So I just wanted to make a statement. I'm going to buy one. Now, here's the bad news. I'm not allowed to drive because I haven't driven a car in a long time, and I love to drive cars.
Musk's vocal support for Trump during the 2024 campaign and his $250 million donation to Trump's America PAC have tied Tesla's fortunes to Trump's political brand. Trump's endorsement reinforces this alliance. Bureau Report, India Today.
That's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. Thanks very much for tuning in.